Hello students, welcome back.
Previously, I have described how you can carry out power electronics or industrial electronics 1 lab experiments virtually, that is by using some software means. In my last video lecture, I have described the procedure for the experiment switching characteristics of a power diode using PSpice 9.1 student version. Today, I will illustrate another very important experiment for power electronics or industrial electronics 1, which is switching characteristics of a power BJT. Let us first try to understand the theoretical concept. Here you can see the circuit diagram of a power BJT which is required for this present experiment. As you know, during the positive half cycle of the input waveform, that is, here you can see, during the positive half cycle of the input voltage waveform, the power BJT, here the voltage VBE, that is the base voltage, will be positive, and this voltage will turn on this BJT. That is, during the positive half cycle, the power BJT will be in the on state. However, during the negative half cycle, the power BJT will be in the off state. So this switching is the important part to study, because during this switching we will study some important features in the output voltage waveform, that is the voltage we are getting across this load when we are applying this input voltage pulsating voltage waveform. What will be the output voltage waveform? Let us first understand and see what is the theoretical waveform. One more thing I would like to mention here, that is the base current here can be expressed by a simple equation, that is by this equation, that is IB equal to VI minus VB, that is the base to emitter voltage, that is the voltage drop across these two terminals, base and the emitter, divided by this resistance connected at the base terminal of the transistor. This is the switching waveform of an NPN transistor in a simplified form. Let us first see the input voltage waveform. Assume the pulsating input voltage Vi, that is the input voltage which we have applied at the base terminal of the transistor, varies from minus V1, that is it is a particular value of a voltage, that is Vi, that is when Vi is equal to minus V1, to plus V2. As you can clearly see that V1 is a negative value of this voltage Vi, and V2 is a positive value of this voltage Vi. Okay. Now at time t equal to t0, initially at time t equal to t0, the input voltage at the base of the transistor is V equal to Vi, right? You can clearly see here. At t equal to t0, the voltage Vi is equal to minus V1. Emitter base junction is reverse biased. Why? Because we have applied a negative voltage, and due to this the emitter base junction will be reverse biased. Then the transistor will be essentially in the off state, as the base current IB at this condition is equal to 0. Okay, though there will be a leakage current, but we can consider the current to be approximately equal to 0, which is not enough to turn on the transistor. Now at time t equal to t1, the voltage starts to increase gradually from minus V1 to, though here you can see the voltage has increased sharply, okay, instantaneously. At t equal to t1, the voltage has become plus V2 from minus V1, but practically it doesn't take place instantaneously. It obviously requires some time. Now, when the voltage has become plus V2, that is, the voltage applied at the base terminal of the transistor is now positive, and the collector current IC, what will happen? As the positive voltage is applied at the base terminal of the transistor, due to this, the transistor will be in the on state, and as the transistor in the on state, so obviously the collector current, the output collector current will start to flow through the load resistance connected in the output circuit. So obviously the current IC, you can see here, the IC starts to increase gradually from 0, and the voltage VCE obviously start to decrease, will obviously start to decrease, and the current has started to increase. Okay, and the value of VC starts to fall from plus VCC. This is the maximum voltage. It is not written here, but you can consider this is the maximum bias voltage. This maximum level of VCE will be equal to the maximum bias voltage, VCC. Therefore, the transistor changes its state from off to on state, or we can also say the transistor changes its state from cutoff to saturation gradually, obviously because it is taking some time. Now you can see some times, duration of time are being shown here, that is TD. TD is the delay time, TR is the rise time, TS is the storage time, TF is the fall time. You must know the definitions of all these time parameters, that is TD, TR, TS and TF. What is TD? You can simply define TD is the time required for the collector current IC. This is the IC. It is written in small letter. Why? It is the instantaneous current to reach 10% of the steady state current IC. So as the current, as you can see, it is the time taken by the current to reach 10%. You can clearly see here. It is the time taken by the current to reach 10% of the maximum value. Okay. Now, similarly, it is also the time taken by this voltage to fall from the maximum voltage VCC to 90% of VCC, as you can see here. Similarly, let us try to understand what is rise time. The rise time, you can see here, this is the rise time, is the time required for the collector current IC to increase from 10% of IC. You can see 0.1, it is written here, 0.1 of IC, that is 10% of IC, to 90% of IC. So as you can see, the current is increasing from 10 to 90%, so obviously the voltage will decrease from 90% of the maximum voltage VCC to 10% of VCC. Okay, so this is actually the rise time. Now let us try to understand what is this TS, storage time. At time t equal to T2, the input voltage again, you can see here, the input voltage again starts to decrease or change from plus V2 to minus V2. Okay, and due to this, the base current will start to change gradually. It has changed sharply, but it is changing gradually from IB2, this is the IB2 value, to IB1 value. Gradually, the base IB1 is negative and the excess carriers can be removed from the base. The collector current cannot be changed immediately and its value gradually reduced to zero. Obviously, the collector current cannot change instantaneously. It takes more time to remove. It actually removes all the charge carriers and finally it decreases to its minimum value. You can see here the storage time. This is the storage time where the current is decreasing from this maximum value to this 90% of IC. Okay, so we can define it, the time interval between the instant of the changeover of the input voltage from plus V2 to minus V2 to the instant collector current IC falls to 90% of the steady state current, that is the maximum current IC, is actually called the storage time TS. So you can clearly see what is the duration of TS. Now let us try to understand what is fault time. You can see TF. TF is a time in which the current, the collector current falls from, you can see, 90% of the maximum value to 10% of the maximum value IC. So this is the duration and this is called the fault time. So how we can define? You can see two parameters. One is given here, turn on, another is turn off. So the turn off time is the sum of, you can clearly see, that is the storage time plus fault time, and the turn on time is the sum of the delay time and the rise time. Okay. So finally now we will see how we can actually do the experiment and we can visualize the voltage, these voltage waveforms, particularly this one and this one, after doing the simulation, that is after doing this virtual lab.
This is your workspace where you have to make the circuit. Press Ctrl G on your keyboard to get the menu bar to select the components. Let's first start with the AC voltage source. Follow all the steps properly. Now we will select the power BJT from the menu by pressing Ctrl G again, and we will select 2N2222 in this experiment. Now let us select the registers by again pressing Ctrl G. Just press R, you will see, and you will get it on your workspace. Follow all the steps properly. All the components is done. Now we have to wire it up by pressing Ctrl W on your keyboard. You will get the tool to wire it up. Make all the connections properly. Now save the project in your computer. Put a name here and save it. Now we have to set the input voltage source parameters. Set the DC voltage to 0 volt. Set the AC voltage to 0 volt. Set the voltage V1 to plus 5 volt, V2 to minus 5 volt. Now fix the time TD, delay time equal to 0 millisecond. Then TR, rise time 0 millisecond. Then fall time 0 millisecond. You can choose it. I'm putting here 0 millisecond. Then the pulse width, I'm putting here 0.5 millisecond. Then PER, that is the time period. I'm making the wave a square wave, so I'm putting the time period 1 millisecond, which is double the pulse width. Just click OK. Now you can label the input voltage. You can write V in, click OK. Thirdly, you can also label the output voltage which will be collected from the collector terminal and write it V out. Now fix the value of the bias voltage to 12 volt. Now insert the CRO probes to measure the input and output voltages so that you can visualize the waveforms. Now after doing this, save it again. Now simulate your project. Click Analysis and Simulate. One more thing is very important, that you have to set the transient parameters to visualize the waveforms. Here I am selecting the final time as 5 millisecond because here I want to see 5 complete cycles, as I have put the time period equal to 1 millisecond. Now simulate it again. Here you can clearly see the input and output voltage waveforms. If you want to see this waveform more clearly, click the x-axis. You can fix the range by clicking the button that is user defined. I'm fixing it. Click OK. Now you can see 2 cycles. You can clearly see the 2 waveforms, input and output voltage waveforms. And I hope you can relate these waveforms which you have obtained after this experimentation with the theoretical waveforms. Okay, thank you.